Get the recording going. So I'm going to pretend to be pleasantly surprised, but they literally did their picks and bans in a different app because they don't have a tournament draft setting, I guess. They don't have like a tournament code lobby that gives everybody access to everything. Yes, Bex, I'm shoutcasting again tonight. All right. So we have got Team Tidal Wave on the blue side, and on the red side we have Comfy Gaming. They are doing scrims tonight. We're going to see a little higher of a gameplay than we saw last time, because these guys are gold to diamond elo. And they are scrimming tonight. It should be a best of 3. So we will see. Might be a 2-0, might be a 2-1. We could have only 2 games, or we could get a maximum of 3. We will see. Let's see. We've got Meow Meow Meow, Ballistic Pengu, Dragoon, 1, 2, 3, Like Keyblade, and Benadryls versus the Boz 800, In Defiance, America Owns All, BDXL, and Oathbringer. Got some nice summoner names. Yeah, I think it's a little silly that, like, they really can't coordinate enough to just, like, pick their own champs, but I guess, I mean, I don't know. I don't know how you go about getting a tournament code from Riot, or I don't even know how that works. I thought when you did tournament draft, it gave everybody access to everything, but apparently that's not the case. Apparently, they're not able to freely pick their champions and then just swap around at the end. But it does make this part of the stream a little bit boring, IMO. Either way, we see the teams now. We've got Shen, Hecarim, Oriana, Kai'Sa, Lulu. Big potential for shielding Kai'Sa and or Hecarim for a hypercarry situation. Whereas on the right side, we've got more of a pick comp. We've got Vygar, Nocturne, Silas, Jin, and Karma. Less of a team fighting team and more of a catch you out and push advantages team. So we will see what happens in this game. No, I mean, I get that draft order is important. I don't know. I just think it's kind of silly. I just don't know why League doesn't make it to where you're able to pick any champion, even if you don't own it, but whatever. I would play some music for in between the spectator delay here, but YouTube made me mute and demonetized my first shoutcasting video. So I won't be doing that anymore. Not that I ever plan to monetize these videos anyways, or my YouTube in general, but Anyways, like I said, both teams are going to be a little bit of a higher skill level than what we saw the other day. Maybe we won't see stomps and big snowballs like we did. Both teams are hovering around the gold to diamond elo. So we might see some hot plays. Might see some hot carries. Yeah, well, I don't know how it works, Emo, because every lobby for ESDL, the other group that I casted for, had tournament lobbies. So I imagine they're pretty simple to get. But I don't know if they're free. I don't know if they cost anything. But literally, they had scheduled like 10 to 12 games a night. And they all had tournament lobby codes. So that, you know, Champion Select, I could actually theory craft and take a look at it. All right, well, here we go. We are in game. This is game number 1, again, from Team Tidal Wave on the blue side versus Comfy Gaming on the red side. Hopefully we got an exciting series ahead of us tonight. It is a best of 3, so there is potential to, you know, drag it out to that final game 3. As we see Team Tidal Wave looking together on a unified front as they invade towards the bottom side of the map. Comfy Gaming comfortable with just fanning out and guarding their jungle entrances. Jin is going to end up spotting everybody walking in right now. And Karma goes down to Q, gives them some poke. Vigar will also poke them as they look to make their way around. They did get a ward onto the blue buff of Comfy Gaming, so they will have some knowledge on the jungle path here. Comfy Gaming sitting pretty, just deciding to keep it safe. And it looks like Nocturne will be going leashless on this one. In Defiance will have a different jungle path than what we're used to. Whereas Tidal Wave's bot lane helps Ballistic Pengu out with the red buff. And what can we say here? What are both teams going to try to do? Definitely Team Tidal Wave is going to look for the 5-on-5 team fights. But they're going to wait until Kai'Sa gets her items. They're going to wait until Lulu has at least one good item. They're going to wait until Orianna has at least one good item. And they'll be looking to hopefully empower either Ballistic Tengu or Likey Blade in their team fights, whereas Comfy Gaming, all they really got to do is farm it out and outscale their opponents. Possibly push them out late game with the Event Horizon from Vygar. Standard laning phase, as we see from both bot lanes, not wanting to take too much poke. And Hecarim looks to be making a move towards the mid lane. We'll see if anything happens here, but it looks like he is spotted by a little bit of vision. America owns all, happy to go toe-to-toe with Dragoon. A little bit of a trade in the top lane between Meow Meow and the Boz. Both with pretty safe sustaining lanes. Silas versus Shen. Both teams just pressing each other's buttons. Making sure that any small advantage they'd be able to take. And Orianna caught out a little bit, trying to contest for the scuttle. And she is dead. America owns all, picks up the kill there in the little skirmish mid. And although that is not good for Team Tidal Wave, Dragoon did take teleport. She can just come back to lane, and she will be safe to farm against this Vygar, who isn't going to have enough time to back. I just noticed that America Owns All took heal into this lane. Whether he's afraid of some of the damage or just wants that extra little chance of escaping. Not something that we always see on Vygar players. Got a big wave accumulating for Team Tidal Wave in the top lane as Shen just sort of slow pushes this one in. Taunts Silas into a large minion wave. He'll have to take the brunt of the minion force there. Junglers doing their standard clear still. Nocturne has hung around on the map for a long time, whereas Hecarim has already gone back to base, grabbed the boots, and is possibly looking to create some more pressure on the lane. But so far, a much different game than we saw the other night. This is very controlled, very safe from both teams. No super unwanted aggression. Although I might have spoken too soon as Indefiance comes in to come into the Shen. The taunt tethers, the fear tethers rather, are just not going to be good enough to secure the kill. Shen taunt is just enough to save him there. And Nocturne, even with no backing and buying his items, has definitely shown a little bit more pressure than Hecarim. Although at this moment we see that Hecarim is trying to solo the Drake, the Mountain Soul, but it looks like Vygar might have caught him out of position. He did not smite, and the Dragon goes over to Comfy Gaming, and everything is just falling apart here as America Owns All picks up a double kill, now 3 kills to his name. Holy... What happened to the smite? Thought that he was going to be able to sneak that one out, but they just sniffed that something was awry. They said, we haven't seen Hecarim all game. Where could he possibly be? And they found him, and now Comfy Gaming have slid into a nice 1,000 gold lead. And good on America owns all for kind of stalling out the Hecarim there. Placing the event horizon perfectly. It'd be a little tough to do that if you do Smartcast and stuff like that, but if you've got Smartcast with the indicator, and Kai'Sa might just be in the wrong spot here. Has to burn the flash against the exhaust from Oathbringer. And Ballistic Pengu just chasing America Owns All under turret. So desperate to maybe give that bounty gold over to his own mid laner. So, I want to talk a little bit about jungle items here. So for Hecarim, you really have a choice in the beginning. If you're, if you think you're going to be the possible carry for your team, you're more than welcome to go with the red enchantment, the attack damage. Oh my gosh, and here comes In Defiance again, right on top of Meow Meow. He's got nowhere to go after the paranoia with the red buff. Goes ahead and secures that one against Shen with no flash. Just thought he was safe with that big minion wave, but it looks like Likey Blade able to get the recall off, but Benadryls might just be caught in a bad position against the Vygar. The Stand United comes through. Will it be enough? No! And America Owns All picks up, oh my gosh, the kill, but Benadryls trades over to the Jhin. Not quite paying attention for where that turret damage is coming from. And he will go down as well. 1 for 1, but Comfy Gaming did get the Shen ult down from Meow Meow. So definitely seems to be a lead in Comfy Gaming's favor. Also picking up the Rift Herald as well. And they're just playing this early game very well. Just catching out a lot of the members of Team Tidal Wave without their summoners. Just playing their advantages as they should. So back to my point about Hecarim. If he was going to be possibly a secondary hyper carry on this team, he could have definitely gone the Warrior enchant. The one that gives you the extra attack damage into Trinity Force. And he could have possibly gotten the shields from Orianna, from Shen, from Lulu, and just been crazy in these team fights. But it looks like he's going to go ahead and be another frontline for this team. Whether he wants to do that for the Kai'Sa, it's possible that they want to go ahead and say, Keyblade, you are the #1 carry. We look to you always in our games. And so he's going the more tanky route. He's building the Cinder Hulk for his jungle item, which will also help him with his jungle clear. Giving him more pressure on the lane. Of course, Nocturne with the early kill definitely goes into Warrior. Nocturne having the choice to do either Warrior or Blood Razor, but here he goes again with the Silas Stand United steal. He jumps onto the bot lane, and this bot lane is just donezo. The 4v2 dive in the bot lane, and now here comes a Ballistic Pengu to gank the Vygar. He goes into the stopwatch, but it's just not going to be enough. And finally, we see Team Tidal Wave picking up at least a little something. They pick up a plate in the mid lane, and they realize they got to step a little bit back because everybody is missing. The Rift Herald gets dropped by, and Shelly picks up another couple of plates for the bot lane just to get them ahead a little bit. Obviously, all the kills have gone over to America and Defiance. And just like that, the first turret drops at 11 minutes. Comfy Gaming now almost up to a 3,000 gold lead from all of their picks. And we have to worry a little bit about the Kai'Sa plan from the side of Team Tidal Wave. As you know, Kai'Sa, she does take that time to scale. She isn't going to be, super powerful in the beginning. But you got to think that if she is going to end up facing a team that's already ahead of her by the 20-minute mark, by the 30-minute mark, she could be in a lot of trouble. Let's hope that they're able to, find some opportunities to get the kills on the Kai'Sa, because Tears Berserker Greaves is just not going to cut it when it comes to these 5v5 mid-game team fights. Meow Meow and Boss going with a little tussle here. Both still level 9. Bone Plating starting to save Shen. Thinks that he can 1v1, but the heal from Silas is just so strong. And the Ninja Tabalize is only going to serve to keep Shen down a little bit. And I just noticed, oh gosh, and here we go. Nocturne coming into a little bit of a tussle here, but the Stand United, will it be enough? They're trying to chase down the Nocturne, but he's nowhere there, and bot lane has appeared in the top lane, and it's a disaster for Team Tidal Wave, who thought they could get a quick skirmish there against the Nocturne, but found both of the bot lane members top, having already rotated after taking the bot tier 1. And at this point, what is there to do? We've got a 400 gold bounty on In Defiance. And that Nocturne is going to be a scary boy. Very, very easy to snowball on this jungle champion. So let's talk a little bit more about itemization here while we've got some downtime. We see Shen opted to go into the Blade of the Ruined King. Obviously wanting to do this in order to cut down on Silas's healing. As well as just kite their entire team a little bit more. Not having the lack of the boots, the movement speed against what is a pick comp could be a problem for him. We see Oriana going for the Luden's Echo firsthand as Hecarim starts to stampede on top of Oathbringer. The heal flash comes through from Jin trying to save Karma. She's going to have her cooldowns up in a little bit. The Lulu ult does not connect. There is no knock up there, but the other team is desperate and the shields are just too strong. They're giving it all to Hecarim and he's going in. He is rooted under the turret. Just not enough to save him. And it looks like Shen ended up catching out Silas, forced to flash. And here comes the Paranoia, and Shen just melts against the damage from the Nocturne. He's just so strong at 5-0. And what can you do? Shen, primarily the split pusher, is going to get out-dueled here. He's not able to push up successfully without vision. And even with vision, it's not going to save you from the Paranoia. And just a really, really good, team composition pick against the Shen. Just sort of shutting him down, not letting him, get back into the game. But it's not quite over. It's only a gold lead of 4,000 to Comfy Gaming. Definitely still a lot of time in the game to make some mistakes. A lot of opportunities, let's say, for Team Tidal Wave to find the pick. And maybe it'll be at Ocean Drake. We will have an Ocean Drake map here with Ocean Soul. Possibly in the next 2 dragons if Comfy Gaming managed to pick up the next 2. Something that could be very good for the Karma. Something that could be very good for the Vigar. And we just see them trying to prioritize another objective on the map. And there's definitely no doubt about it that the priorities have been on the objectives. We even saw Nocturne picking up the first blood with Vigar just based off the Scuttle control. And we got to give a big kudos to In Defiance. He's just all over the map. He has created that pressure. He's picked up both Shellys. He's definitely been holding his own for his team. Making sure he can do all that he can in this role in order to change the tides. And it looks like America Owns All will try to take down the tier 1 turret. The Vigar will hit hard with those auto attacks from all the AP he gets, the bonus AP. So will we see them try to contest this dragon? Stand United will be up. The chains connect. We do see a little bit of a tussle. Here comes Shen again with the Paranoia. And Shen just, again, has nowhere to go, trying to push this advantage. The team is starting to collapse, though, now. Getting the fear onto the Nocturne. He just might have been the dust himself. But see if they can also pick up the Silas. Silas goes back into the chains, is just trying to kill somebody, but the shields are way too strong. And that might have been a questionable decision there. It looks like They're going to trade the dragon for the tier 2 mid turret. So this is good. Finding some advantages here. The gold lead still remains the same. This turret is going to go down in the mid game, and I don't think they're going to be able to collapse on this one. They're going to walk away scot-free rather. Do keep in mind that Silas still has access to Shelly. So it's possible that we could be crashing in top for a little more map control. And Shen, has he walked into the wrong spot? He goes ahead and taunts in onto Oathbringer. Will the rest of the team support him? Silas and Nocturne are nowhere to be found, and these guys have just stepped on the wrong side of the map. They're going to try to get away from both of them, and everybody's forgotten all about Oathbringer except for Meow Meow. He's going to go in and get her. Tries to get the recall off, but she is just dead to rights. And now let's see the rest of the team collapsing. Stand United is up. They do have a chance to 5v4 here. The Shockwave comes down. Will Stand United come down? No! It's too late to hold on to the Nocturne. Or onto the Shen, rather. Well, the Shockwave damage is there. Kaisa with the ult. Not able to jump onto the Vygar there. Don't even think she wanted to, even if she had the opportunity. Gold lead still remains the same as we push towards that 20-minute mark. We will say the Team Tidal Wave, they did go ahead and keep the Ocean Soul from happening any sooner. They did manage to get that dragon. So they are playing the mid game just fine. Couple mistakes here and there, but definitely, let's say, closing the gap in terms of their champions usage. I do have some questions about this Shen build. Blade of the Ruined King first build, I think, is a little iffy. Because it's kind of putting Hecarim in the... It's kind of weird. There isn't really a front line on the side of Team Tidal Wave. We have Hecarim building Cinderhulk, but then still going into carry items like Trinity Force. We also have Meow Meow building into that sort of carry Shen build, where he's going to be picking up the Blade of the Ruined King Titanic Hydra shortly after he finishes these Merc Treads. The Paranoia goes in and goes down on the Hecarim, who was a little bit out of position. The cage is not going to come down. Shen going ahead and giving him the shield, but will it be enough? He flashes forward for the Vygar, but Hecarim is unable to help. He's locked in the cage, and there he goes. Vygar ults the Orianna, and it's all she wrote for America Owns All. Just taking out everybody, teleporting in to help Meow Meow. And it just seems like the numbers are there for Comfy Gaming, and respect is not being given from Team Tidal Wave. They just believe that they have this chance, and they don't, as Comfy Gaming starts the Baron. And I don't think Team Tidal Wave can do anything about this. They're going to have to give this one up. They do not have a smite available in range. And even though it's going down relatively slow, only with about 2,000 HP to go, they will pick this one up at 20 minutes. And this is scary, scary, scary for Team Tidal Wave, who are running out of opportunities to gain a foothold in this game and push an advantage. Like we said before, I mean, Team Tidal Wave is a primarily team fighting composition with the shields, with the combination of the ultimates, and unfortunately the other team is just going to be stronger in the 5v5 with the gold lead, mounting at almost 8,000 now with the Baron taken. And pretty soon, it's going to get to the point where if you don't get an all-out taunt on top of Vygar, he's just going to take over the game. We do see Ballistic Pengu. He's running out of mana, but he's trying to chase down this Silas. Silas, who's now stolen away. And the speed onto the Vygar just takes down the Orianna. And with nobody in the base to defend this mid lane push, they are going to just take a free inhibitor here. with the Baron buff. And they're going to be able to waltz away from the inhibitor as soon as it's down and grab an Ocean Drake. This has definitely been the America Owns All and In Defiance combo show. Picking up 14 of the 16 kills on the side of Comfy Gaming. And like I said, it's going to get to the point where if you don't get that immediate taunt shockwave onto Vygar, once he builds that Zhonya's, it's going to be nigh impossible to kill this 8-1 Vygar. And he's just going to shred through the front line and the back line of Team Tidal Wave with his gold advantage. And he's only going to get stronger. We're kind of getting past the mid-game point where the 5v5 team fights from Tidal Wave could pick up a couple advantages and a couple gold onto the hyper carries. So Shen picks up a Balmy Cinder. I can only assume that's going to be built into Sunfire Cape. Just a very, very weird build from Shen here. Yes, Nocturne has a lot of the kills, but you have a level 13 Sylas, a level 13 Vygar, and Merc Treads is just probably not going to cut it, given the gold lead. We'll see what happens here. We have Sylas stealing the Stand United once again. They've caught Orianna in the cage, and the shields are just not strong enough, even with the Lulu ult. And there goes Lulu as well in the cage. The cooldowns are coming in, and like I said, Vygar is just so strong at this point, the front line is just not able to hard engage onto this team. And here goes the Paranoia Shen onto the Nocturne. It's actually Sylas stealing the Shen ult. And they're just forced off this tower. Another inhibitor is going to go down. And this is going to be all she wrote for Team Tidal Wave. With 2 dead. Hecarim trying to go in with the Stand United, but it's just not enough. The shields are just not enough at this point in the game. The gold is just so high up on the side of Comfy Gaming. They're pushing in. Sylas is 1v3ing, zoning everybody away from the turrets, but he might have bitten off a little more than he can chew. He dies to the double turrets, but what price does he pay? He says, look, I give my team the game. Orianna actually ends up picking up America Owns All, finally getting the shutdown gold, but the Nexus turrets are gone. The stuns are coming in. The chains are coming down. The damage is raw, and BDXL will be left alive in order to take the win, and Comfy Gaming goes 1-0 up on Team Tidal Wave.